The gates are closed and appear to be locked, like the cold, silence radiates from within the village.
The gates are locked, eh? That is a sure sign of trouble. In kinder times, the village guards would have seen the sails of my ship and opened the gate to greet us. I suspect that the village of Fjord is in the icy clutches of evildoers. There must be a way through the gates. Perhaps a secret signal to alert those inside. Those frostbones outside the gate may know more about getting inside. You should defeat a few frostbones and see how they signal to one another.
you defeat this Frostbones, it signals its allies by banging its sword on its shield. More of them bang their shields in reply. It is a code of some sort.
They bang their swords upon their shields instead of speaking? This is an ancient means of signaling. Warriors of old call it Norse code. It is clear that the town has fallen to evil. Go and use Norse code to signal your way past the gate. The Thane of Hrundrfjord is named Vanir Stormroar. If he lives, he will be in the village's hall. Seek him out and return to me once you know his fate.
You tap on the gate a few times, and something that sounds like Norse code. A moment later, it opens. Vanir is frozen solid. You should tell Baldur the bad news.
Bring ill news. Vanir alone could tell us what happened to Hrundrfjord. We must devise a way to thaw Vanir's Stormroar without harming him. This is raven magic. If I remember rightly, an old crone named Morn Shadowbrew dwells within Hrundrfjord. Though she was wicked and unkind, she may be able to help us if she has not been turned to ice. Go and seek her out and see if she can be convinced to help us in this cold hour.
Who's this? You're not frozen. No matter. You'll join the others in their wintry doom. that you want? Thawing the Thane Vanir? He knows nothing. But if you must speak to him, here is how to thaw him. Go to the geysers at the edge of the village and collect some scalding water. Here's an urn you can use. Just pour it over Vanir. He should thaw in a matter of moments. It is magic ice. Only geyser water will serve. I could use your help. If you could show an old raven some charity. Those frost goblins outside stole my rune carving tools, along with some blank rune stones. If you go and get those things back to me, I'll carve you a nice runic charm to bring you good fortune.
You collect the steaming geyser water in the urn Morn gave you. You're careful not to burn yourself.
Ah, yalla, shabba.
You pour the steaming geyser water upon the frozen Thane. In a moment or so, he is free from the ice.
What has happened? I was in my hall ready to fight the Coven when I became quite cold. I remember no more. Now I am soaked and steaming. My state lacks dignity, but I am grateful to you for my freedom. I don't recognize you, but you're clearly a wizard of some sort. You freed me, so I will trust you. The one you must speak to is Grandmother Raven. She is an old one, older than even the spiral. It is said she gave the eyes of time to the great tree at the heart of the spiral, but that was long, long ago. She is a loyal ally of my people. I fear that the Coven... Grandmother Raven is often near the giant tree behind... Brundlefjord's strength is in its people. And we cannot survive if our best are but frozen statues. Can you make your way to the geyser and gather more water to thaw 3 of my villagers? Their names are Holga Iron. Here is a bucket to use. When you have thawed my allies, return here and let me know the deed is done.
You fill your bucket with boiling hot geyser water. You pour the hot water over.
Brr, that's a welcome splash of hot water on a cold day. Thank you.
Waif looks like he could use a hot bath.
Oh, that's hot! I took a bath last month. Is it that time again?
Time to break the ice with Newt.
How long was I in the ice? Pleased to meet you.
Those 3 can help thaw the rest of the village. Our gratitude to you for your aid.
You did your part, so I'll
Morn uses her tools to carve an inscription on a runic charm necklace.
Here you go. May it shelter you from harm.
Greetings, young wizard. At long last we meet. I have long watched you as you made your way through the spiral. Perhaps you have felt my presence before. I celebrated your victories, and I hope that my counsel reached you in your journey. You find me at a disadvantage. Though the ravens are all my children of a sort, some of them are quite wicked. The ravens of the coven are especially untrustworthy. They caught me unawares and trapped me in this cage. If you would help an old grandmother, talk to the 3 wise sisters called the Norns. They can see into the past, across the world as it is, and they know what is to come. They can help you set me free.
I am Erd, the one who knows all that has happened to you before this day.
I am Verdandi, and there is nothing in the spiral that is hidden from my sight.
I am Skuld, and I knew you were coming.
We Norns tend the loom of fate. Each living being is but a thread for us to weave into the tapestry of life.
As an outlander, you are free from fate. You are not of Grizzleheim, so your destiny is not part of this tapestry.
You alone can change the course of events and thwart the frightful fate that is to come.
To free Grandmother Raven, you must do the impossible. First, fetch for us the feather of a white raven.
Skogul the Pale is such a raven, with feathers the color of the moon, rather than the night dark sky.
Go to Skogul's hut in Rundlefjord and beg from her a single white feather.
Who's that outside? If you're from the Coven, leave me alone. If you've come to free me, the door is frozen shut. If you want to be of help, fetch a kettle from the market and fill it with snow. Melt the snow in the fire pit in the market, and then bring the hot water back to pour over the ice on my door.
You get a cooking pot and quickly fill it with snow. The snow melts and boils quickly. You pour the boiling water over the ice, it melts away.
You're not from around here, are you? You have my gratitude for getting rid of the ice, but I'm still plenty mad at what's been done. If you'll go and teach a handful of those ravens a lesson, any of them. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there and thrash some of the ravens that ruined this nice village. help you now that the ravens have paid for the trouble they brought to Hrundel Fjord. What can I do for you? A feather? An odd.
Wincing, Skogul pulls out a string.
Use that in a spell against me, and you'll wish you hadn't.
This feather will serve its purpose, but it's only a start. We do not send you on idle errands. The things we need are for a mighty spell to change the fate of a world.
The next impossible thing we need is a claw from a bear with no name.
Vanir Stormroarer keeps a census of all who dwell here. He knows Vanir is in his hall, and he will help you find this nameless bear.
You have become a true master of the death arts. For you, I have a new spell.
You seek a bear without a name. How odd. Why would any bear not want to have a name, to echo in glory? I keep a census of all those who live in this village. Read it, and see if it helps. A minstrel once told me of an outlander who rid Grizzleheim of many Grendels. I don't suppose that was you, was it? You have some skill in monster fighting, and I am in need of such. These pesky frost goblins have a leader in the cave outside of town. He calls himself Thulkir Battlegloom. Can you go and defeat him, driving him from Hrundel Fjord?
I am...
You have the stink. I'll dunk you in the hot springs when I'm through with you.
Salmaloria! Ah, yalla, shababa!
In days agone, void was all. Storm, ice, and fire made war. The one world was torn apart.
You have done what the best warriors of Hrundlefjord couldn't. You must be the hero the minstrel spoke of.
You examine the census. The list of names doesn't include Leaf, who is standing outside of town.
Greetings. Is it safe to go back into town? What? No name? How could they take Leaf off their census? I'll have to speak to Vanir about that. What's that? You'd like a claw? How odd. I was just sharpening my claws and it must be fate at work. In that case, you should have it.
The claw of a bear with no name. You are clever to win such a prize. Clever indeed. A feather from a white raven, and a claw from a bear with no name. 2 of the 3 items we need are in hand.
The third item is perhaps the most difficult to obtain. A tooth from a wolf who has never known battle.
Fate smiles upon you. At the edge of this village is an herbalist called Regan Wildleaf. He may be of help.
Leaf sent you? Oh, that's welcome news. Tell him I've weathered the ice storm and am ready to do business.
You aren't from here. Did you come with the Coven, or are you here as a friend to the folk of Hrundlefjord? We can use allies in this grave time. I am an herbalist, and I do what I can to heal the sick. A tooth? What a strange request. And an odd coincidence. One I cannot ignore. When the ice first came, I bit a piece of it and broke a tooth. I'll readily give it to you. I have an ache from the missing tooth. And the herb, I'll need a sprig each of valerian and of amaranth. They grow around the village. I'll also need a branch of moonwort. Gather those 3 herbs, bring them to me, and I'll look around and see if I can find that broken tooth.
How good a Leaf to show concern for my well-being. I would rather he offer fairer prices when we trade.
You're quite the gatherer. Those herbs will help ease the pain of this broken tooth. And here, this...
Regan hands you a jagged piece of broken tooth. That must have hurt coming out.
We have the three that cannot be. Now is the time to weave our greatest magic. Tooth, claw, and feather. These are symbols of our people, yet each comes from a source that cannot be.
You must bind them with the thread of your life and weave them into the tapestry that is Grizzleheim's fate.
Take feather, claw, and tooth to the loom of fate. Tie them to your thread, you will know it, and return to us.
One of the threads looks a little different from the others. You get a sense that it represents you. You tie the feather, claw, and tooth to the thread. Strangely, Grizzleheim feels a little more like home to you.
You can now dispel the magic that binds Grandmother Raven within her cage. It should open to your touch.
Cage. Do not be afraid. Walk up the ramp so that I can see you, eye to eye. It has been centuries since I wore this shape. Oh, to stretch these wings once more. There is still much to do, else the Everwinter takes us all in its cold, clawed grasp. When the Ice Titan fought with his brothers, the Titans of Fire and Storm, the world was threatened with ruin. Bartleby sung the song that put them to sleep, and bound together the shattered world and spun it into the spiral. 4 sons there are of the Ice Titan, 4 giants of frost. Austri, Vestri, Sudri, and Nordri are there. Each frost giant rules a land near Rundle Fjord, and they have never been friendly to bear, wolf, or raven. But the one they liked least was their father, the Ice Titan himself. While the father slumbers, the sons run wild. The 4 ice giants each have a means to bind their father to sleep. 4 golden seals, 1 to each. I lay this task upon you, to fetch back the golden seals. The gate to Austri's land will now open to you. Go through the gate and speak to Austri. Bargain for the seal, then return with it. There is no other way.